Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Tonight we're going to be talking about a tiny little flashlight from Wuben, so let's go ahead and get into that on Tinker with Tools. So a couple of weeks ago, Wuben actually reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in trying some of their products. Now, I personally have already purchased at least 3 different Wuben products, and so when they offered the chance to kind of see what some of their other lights were about, I decided to go ahead and jump at the opportunity. While they did send over the products for free, they don't have any say in this video, and I'm still going to give you my open and honest opinions about it, but I do want to disclose any relationships I have with merchants or vendors, so you can take that into consideration in making your decision. Now let's go ahead and get on with the video. So as you might have seen in past videos, I have a couple of different tool bags or go bags that I use when I do different types of jobs around the house or even take them on the road with me. And in one of those bags that I put together earlier this spring, I wanted to have a really compact light because space in the bag was going to be at a premium. Now previously I've typically employed something like this and it does a decent job. It's fairly compact, but overall I was looking for something perhaps a little bit more compact. Now the light I chose for that bag was going to be this. It's the Wuben E7, which is a dual LED super compact kind of floodlight that is going to offer a decent amount of functionality in really a super compact size. When you compare it to the Milwaukee, which is already, like I said, pretty compact, it is more than half the size of that tool, but it actually puts out a little bit more light, and that is something that's really impressive here. So when Wuben actually went ahead and sent over an E7 with some other accessories, I was excited to go ahead and tell you about it because I had already purchased this light for myself. It is going to have 2 of these Osram P9 LEDs. Inside it is going to have an 18350 cell. This one is from Wuben. That is going to be 1100 milliamp hours, so it's not going to have massive amounts of runtime, but I think for what you're going to be using it for, you are going to be able to get decent performance out of it. It does charge via USB-C up here on the head of it, and so you are going to be able to charge it without taking that cell out. But one thing I like about having a removable cell is you can go ahead and put a second one in your bag and be able to have a backup right on you without having to recharge it. That's something I really like. Definitely prefer over something with an internal battery that you can't access or remove. Now the function of the light is pretty simple. You are just going to have an on switch that is going to be on the top. Press it on and it is going to default in kind of that last mode that you had. And then if you hold it down, it is going to cycle through 3 different settings. Now if you double tap, it is going to go into its brightest turbo mode, which is going to be 1800 lumens of light for up to about a minute, and then it's going to drop down a little bit from there. That 1800 lumens is quite bright. I'm going to go ahead and go for a walk at nighttime so you can kind of see the overall power of this light and see what it can put out. Now to kind of round out the functionality of the light, there is going to be a little clip here on the back. Additionally, there is a magnet. So if you want it to cling to anything metallic, it does a decent job of doing that. And overall, I think that's a really nice feature set for a super compact light. Now, if that was all the E7 had to offer, I think it's still a pretty good light, and especially at the price point, it is definitely a good value. But when they go ahead and send you this accessory, I think that's really where it starts to go to another level. This is going to be a headband that is going to be compatible with the light, and so you can actually just go ahead and slot it right in there. And the headband even rotates to be able to have the light where you need it in case you're looking down, walking straight ahead, or whatever you're doing. So overall, this now adds another level of functionality to your light where you can go ahead and keep this in your tool bag, kind of tucked away in a pocket. And if you ever need hands-free light, you can just go ahead and put it on the headband and go to work. In terms of headbands, it does allow it to be secured really well to your head. But once again, this is not the only thing this light can do, which is going to be their inductor. And really, for me, it's just going to be a hands-free sensor that is going to allow you to operate the light without actually having to manually manipulate the button. Now, I'm going to be honest, this one, although it does function, is a little bit more hit or miss for me because you are going to be doing it touch-free. And honestly, I think I'd rather just use the button. But for those of you who do want hands-free operation, you can just go ahead and attach it to the headband. You can kind of see a little blue light, and then when you go ahead and wave your hand in front of it, it will go ahead and turn on and off the light. Now, this is going to work all the way out to, I believe it's either 5 or 6 centimeters, where you can go ahead and move it in front of it, and it's not going to do it when it passes too far away, but the closer you get, the more you are going to be able to get that light. Now, this is where, like I said, it starts to fall a little bit on its face, in my opinion, with the inductor, and that it's just not super consistent. So while I do think the concept or idea of it is definitely something that's nice, being able to have a hands-free option I do think is beneficial. I've just found the different functionality to be a little bit inconsistent in getting it to do exactly what I want, where when I go ahead and press the button, I know exactly what I'm going to be getting. But for dirty, greasy hands, that is a decent option. Now, in my opinion, where you start to really see the benefit of this light is going to be in the value which you can get it for. Retail, this is going to be just under $30 for the light itself, but you can routinely find it on Amazon for cheaper than that. I will have links to both Wuben's website and to Amazon down in the description below. When I purchased my first Wuben E7, I think I actually got it for $22, which is going to be a really nice price point for this kind of light. When I was trying to decide on this one, I had actually been also looking at a light from another manufacturer, and that one is pretty steady at $30, has a single LED, and doesn't necessarily have all the different modes that this one has. So for even cheaper money, I'm getting a little bit more full function. But where it even gets nicer is I can go ahead and get the combination of the light and the headband for $40, or I can go ahead and add the sensor on for just $50 total for everything that's there. Now, I know that the sensor is a little bit of hit or miss for me. It's not necessarily something that I am going to employ a lot, but I think overall, just the light and the headlamp alone is enough reason for me to kind of look into this. And if I'm being honest, compared to the headlamps in this price range that I've used before, this is every bit as nice and even a little bit brighter. And I think that's also where the Wuben shines. So if you have any questions about this light, the headband, or the sensor, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to get them answered for you. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Make sure you turn on notifications so you get notified when I put out new content. And until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.